Welcome, everybody. It is a beautiful day down here in Melbourne, Australia. Unfortunately, most of us are not there, and instead we're up here in NA, whether it be Canada, US, or wherever from the world you're watching. Perhaps Egypt, as some of our casters may be living in. Look, I've been outside. I've managed to enjoy the sunshine, and I'm feeling refreshed, full of energy. And we're here joined with two wonderful, wonderful casters on the desk with us. And look, I've been learning names. I can't butcher this one. I got this. It's Baldingo. There we go. We got Baldingo calling for us today, and we've got Volt here on the play-by-play. Baldingo, how you going today?
Quicksand, I'm doing great, honestly. I just had a good day, had a good cast on Monday. Went back into League, which is something I'm still working on a bit, but now I'm back in Valorant, something I'm much more comfortable in. I'm very excited to see these two teams go at it today. They've definitely got the grit, and I am very excited to see how things go.
Awesome. Volt, what about you? How you feeling?
I mean, recently my favorite soccer team has been breaking my heart consistently. But outside of that, Juventus, it's like,
Oh, no.
It's pretty miserable, if I may say so myself. But hey, on the upside, here we go. We have some VRS to lift me up. Like, it's very fun. Yeah, it's true. Like, very fun games. People are trying a lot of stuff, so it'll be much more fun than whatever I was watching last week.
Look, man, we got the World Cup. Look, not only do we have the World Cup coming up for soccer, we have the League of Legends Worlds coming up this year too. So look, we got heaps of things to watch and heaps of people to barrack for. And again, tonight we've got some big games coming up. It's going to be Lucid versus Banks tonight. They got a plus at the end of the name. I was figuring out how to wrap my head around it, but both teams only have one win under their belt, so they haven't been performing the best. We see Lucid on a score of 1-2, while Banks on a score of 1-3. Now, Lucid may have played a game less because they have had a game delayed that they haven't been able to play yet. So that probably throws the stats in a bit of a flurry. So I don't think everything we have will entirely be under wraps because this team hasn't been able to show as much as they would have wanted to. Now, let's start off. Baldingo, I'm curious this year. How much Valorant have you played? Who do you play? Tell me about your Valorant experience. Give me a resume before we roll into this game.
Got it. So I will confess, I came from Counter-Strike, right? When I first started playing Valorant. And I didn't even play Valorant when it first came out because I thought to myself, now granted, I even played League at the time. Okay. So I played Counter-Strike and League. And I thought, no, it's blasphemous. I can't do that. That is my very roots. And then I get to college and I get to the esports club and I see this casting gig and they say, hey, we pretty much only do Valorant. So I thought, all right, let's start playing some Valorant. And so that's exactly what I did. And so I've been playing Valorant for probably every bit of a year now. As it stands, I am still climbing. I don't really know where I sit. I've been very picky when I play competitive. So I'm currently about 50 RR away from plat, which is exciting. And then I'm a very proud Fade main, very fun character. Might be a little detrimental because whenever I can't check a corner with a little cat, it frightens me. But that is, as it stands, my Valorant experience. What about you, Quicksand?
Me? Oh, man. Dude, as a host, you can kind of jump around to a million different games. As long as you know a little bit about it, then it doesn't really matter. But I play Val with my friends just occasionally on a fun little day. And I mean, nothing like what these people are doing. The people that are playing right now, they have trained, they have played, they have made sure to improve. And sometimes you watch some of their plays. Like I went to a CSGO live tournament just the other night, and the crowd is insane. I am so glad that there are opportunities for players to always play in tournaments because not only is it exhilarating when you win, but it's also exhilarating to be part of the crowd and cheer and go insane. So, Volt, besides all of our amazing experience playing Valorant, I know you have some of the stats, which again, we did not get to see Lucid play their fourth game so far. So I don't think Lucid stats will entirely reflect in what they are, but with what they've played so far, what are we seeing from both of these teams?
Think about it. I'm looking at Lucid. First of all, if they win today's game, they are solidly in a three-way tie for fourth with the game in hand as well. So that is like very good. That will put you in a very strong spot to contend for playoffs and maybe even the higher seeding. So you avoid a lot of the tougher matchups in Group B. But yeah, like so far from what I'm looking at, I was looking at the stat leaders. We can see a few players in both teams that are leading in the kill per game, where you have Bunley from the side of Beckons. I assume it's Beckons. Who knows? Maybe it's Becks, maybe it's Beckons. Maybe it's Beck with a lighthouse. Who even knows? So yeah, we have Bunley with like 19.8, and then we have Polar from Lucid with 18.14. And mind you, while these two players are in the top 10 for kills per game, I don't think that either of them are there for KDA. So that is the story of basically how it goes for them. You would have players that do consistently provide, but since they're losing, their KD is suffering. Maybe like they're taking a lot of trades, playing in the clutches, but like then losing the round after like getting 2 or 3 kills. So that is the story for both teams, and now we're gonna see who's gonna have it to wrap it up. Because this is two teams that need a closer, and this is their closer, basically.
That's right, and it's perfect timing for us to start rolling into our closer, because if I look at my watch, which I don't have, it's telling me it's time for us to jump into Agent Select. So let's not waste any more time. I'll leave it to you two, and we're going to fly straight into it.
Sounds good. Let's get rolling then. We would like to point out that for the first map this evening, Lucid has picked Haven. For those who don't know, Haven is a very interesting map in the sense that it diverges from the traditional the traditional 2 site into the 3 site formula, which in turn leads to some very interesting plays, because not only are you left with man disadvantages on defense, but you're also left with more options on offense and more opportunities for fakes and for things that just allow you to have more flexibility for your plans of attack. Normally, if you lose on, you might have a strong site or a weak site, right? If you have somebody who has, a lot of smokes on a site with not many entrance points, that might be your stronger map, because you can clear yourself off and you can hold down the site very well. Or if you are in a site with a lot of open areas, those smokes may not play as well into things. And now as we get here into the agent pick, I would like to point out that
the Phoenix Roulette is there.
Beckons, yes, there we go. There's the Phoenix. Beckons is going to attack first. And as we look, all right. So as we stand here, Vol, what are you seeing here? Because I am noticing a few things that I would like to touch on, but I want to get your reaction first.
Okay, I'm not gonna comment on the Phoenix Roulette. I'm just gonna wait for them to actually fix stuff. There we go. There we go. Now we're seeing, yeah, there you go. But on the side of Lucid, though, like ignoring Beckons here and the shenanigans, I would say outside of the Killjoy, that is pretty much the standard.
Select your agent.
Holy trinity of like the stuff that you play. You play the KO or the Fade, you play the Chamber, you play the Jet for the entry, you play the Astra or the Omen, which we are seeing from the side of Beckons here, and we're seeing the Breach. So I would say, actually, that when I'm looking at it, Beckons has the meta comp. That is basically the meta comp outside of Fade, and they have the Sova instead. But for the side of Lucid, we're seeing some variety. You're seeing the Astra. That has very good value if you're proficient on it, but that floor of providing value for Astra is pretty high. Same thing for like the Phoenix, where we're seeing the double duelist on Lucid. So that's interesting. So I would like to have your take on it here. What do you think about double duelist?
Right off the bat here, I do think I would like to point out Lucid's pick on both the Chamber and the Jet. Now, recently there has been a lot of controversy over Chamber's position in Valorant. He was introduced as a Sentinel that a lot of people just think is wrong by virtue of the fact that they had taken away the things that made him a Sentinel, and people self-classify him now as a duelist, and that doesn't necessarily I should say that it does make a lot of sense by virtue of the fact that he does have a very decent amount of, well, I shouldn't say decent amount, pretty much his entire kit is designed around killing your enemy. I mean, we'll see here throwing down his trademark in order to move around the map like a duelist, someone who can get in your face. And the rest of his kit is just guns and a turret. And so when you bring up that, you know, it's kind of an interesting spot. But the reason I say similar functions is because also of the jet pick on the side of Lucid. These agents on defense definitely tend to hold the same type of proficiencies, is that they're good at peeking angles, getting a pick, and then getting out of there. And so I do wonder how. I do think Lucid here has a very strong defensive capabilities. And also, it's especially good on Haven because you need to be relocating all the time. You never know when people can go, you know, from this middle alone, you can go to 2 different sites. And if you even want, cut through the middle site and go all the way around to A. I mean, defense on this map really is a struggle, as we'll see Lucid pop out here looking for anything. Doesn't manage to find anything.
Not much to be found here. Bunley is trying to see something back, but that is all she wrote. And speaking of movement, if you look at Ken on the jet, he's got a perfect angle here for one, but he's gonna whip. Lackluster will claim his life, and that is already the first pick for the side of the attack. We're seeing Beckon scaling up intensely here on the A side. It's all gonna be up to Polite to find something. Looks like he has received the call to back off, and it will be the retake unless... Seeing the rotation here from Beckons. Is the rig gonna be there? It looks like no. They have absolutely sold him, and Bunley is in a beautiful position here. Look at him, everybody's just like looking at the A side.
Yeah, look at that, a very low rotate. Excellent catch there by Bunley. But going on to discuss the composition here while our friends over at Beckons get settled into their site, the Astra, I think, is so important and so potent on this map by virtue of the fact, because there's so many angles to cover, because it's such a large map, it allows you to really cover things and reach your teammates when they need you. And in this case, I believe, yes, Lucid has in fact used most of his utility, if not all of it.
Okay, this time it actually works. Fashion is gonna get the backstab onto Cass, and that's gonna thin out the possibilities. The flames will not connect, and that's Bunley here, leaving Melson in a 1v5, trying to find anything. Just waiting for them to aggro into him, and he's gonna be good for 1, but the Breach Sun is gonna confirm that that's only what he's gonna get.
Yeah,
Round 1 for Beckons.
I definitely do think that Lucid over-rotated there. I mean, we saw it right there. Every single player was on that A site, and Beckons had just had a free reign to go onto the C site. And by the time that Lucid realized what was wrong, they had already wasted so much time and had very little utility or time to get onto that C site. And I think that really did not play well for them. And I also want to commend Beckons for such a wonderful play there, faking the A site with getting spotted out by that KO knife. And look at that, 2 agents detected there. And now we'll see how they play it, because, and I do think that Lucid has learned from their mistakes. There is not going to be a very aggressive, quick rotate here from them. But I do believe that when it comes to the side of the attack, Beckons definitely does have probably a little bit of a stronger side here. They have the initiators, they have the omen for the smokes, for the cover, and I do think that it will be definitely come down to the macro play here.
Yeah, it looks like once again they're trying to move it though. Yeah, you can see Baldingo, they're just trying to keep on shimmying them, but this time looks like they have adapted. They just stuck to their sights, and well, Kin once again in a pretty good position here with the classic, but the arrow will actually spot everyone in the side. Is gonna be playing in the smoke. If Patchin and Bree will be good for the entries, and the side is wide open with the classics just rumbling down for the retake on the link area. Okay, there we go. Now we're just waiting for anything, any movement. Flash in hand. Is it gonna be good for anything? Not that much, and Passion is gonna swing. The aftershock is gonna kill Cass, and that leaves 1 in the chamber for Melson. Trying
see
to
if we
find
can make
anything.
any happen here with this.
Trying to find any kind of connection.
Lucid, Nelson,
Yeah.
the last man standing yet again, and not necessarily a bad thing, but it does beg the question how he's going to keep playing, as we do see the spike will detonate, and he will actually die there. Not much he had to lose, but it looks like Beckons will take the second round of this half. Now we're back into the third round here. A full save was on the side of Lucid, and now we will see a full buy in this third round. And I tend to find that in these matches, the third round can definitely determine the momentum of things after this full buy comes in, and we have the rifles pitted against the SMGs, sometimes even rifles for the team that has won the previous 2 rounds. It definitely, you know, in the event that Lucid lose this round, they may find themselves in a bit of a pickle when it comes to taking the momentum back, as we will see the usual utility come out, the suppression knife and the recon dart, but nothing will come out of it.
And control of the A side here, Baldango. We're just waiting to see an adaptation from the side of Lucid. So far, they haven't really shown that much. Even the Eagle round, there wasn't really any strategy. It was just a good old default.
Concealment.
A good old 2-1-2, and now the 2-1-2 is tasked to find anything, and Cass is gonna spray through the wall here, finding Passion. Hearing everybody else in the mid area as well. Star is just in anticipation. It looks like they will strike the garage area here. Trap in hand. Need to get them out of the area. The Star is not going to be good enough. They're going to rush out, and there goes the Chamber. Has the TP back here on Melson. It looks like they're leaving the site, and the plant is going to commence. Okay, Bonley is going to be good for one.
Spike planted.
And now the retake is on with a 4v4. That is the closest that we have seen Lucid so far. And here we're talking about Bonley. He's gonna get a second here in the garage area. Probably gonna contest for a third, and he's gonna get it. No, Kin with the jump is gonna be able to find one. The flash is not gonna be good for that much. Bree though, good for a double spray, and that leaves a 1v2, and looks like the bonus round will be converted. Just looking for one more. Kin, will he find anything? No, he will be stabbed once again from the corner, and that's round 3 for Beckons.
Yeah, I definitely wonder sort of what is going through their heads right now. Yes, they have just lost that third bonus round, but I don't necessarily think they're out of it. And I honestly am wondering kind of specifically where Kin is playing right now. We've noticed he's been playing a lot of these close angles and trying to get picks in kind of a cheeky little sneaky way. But I just find that when he has the jet, when he has the potential for that aggression that character is so proficient at, why would he not utilize that? I mean, look at here. He's taking that peek on the short and finds Lackluster just like that. Gets the dash out and is perfectly fine. And so I think it's going to be aggression like that. Just like that, Melson have suddenly taken this eco round and put it to their favor as
what is this crosshair? Passion. What is this?
It's a circle.
I'm okay. I don't know. Like some crosshairs are actually like out there. I have no clue. Okay, let's get back to the Valorant though. Like that's already 2 picks. So the half buy is looking pretty solid. Polar is trying to find anything, but he will be met with a dark cover. So far, they're still trying to peek any corners.
Oh.
Passion is trying to find Melcy, but not that much between the two, just jump spotting back and forth.
Interesting play from Beckons, actually salvaging the rifles and throwing them away in the event that anyone from Lucid decides to get a little antsy and start looking for them, but I don't think that's going to be the case, as we will see the creep up middle. Polar might spot them out, and it seems, yes, that will be the case as the flash comes out with the smoke. And take us away, Vault.
Okay, here start short. They're trying to get the area control, but the stack is there. Melson will need to come up big. Headhunter is gonna be good for the one, but the side is taken, and now with 12 seconds to go, it will be a 2v5, and they're tasked with a very hard ask here on the side of Beckons. Just gonna retreat to the long area. A very peculiar decision, leaving the side open. Maybe they're trying to anticipate the flank, and here is Polite coming on the clock. Will he be able to find anything? No, sprayed down by Bree. So now they have the info on the one, but they figure out the game, they're figuring out the puzzle. They know that no one is on the site now. The stick is gonna come in, the double swing will be good for one, for the second, but will it be good for the spike? No, the defuse is gonna stick down. And even though you've killed all 5 members, finally, a round has been converted for the side of Lucid.
Indeed, a very good eco round there from the side of Lucid. Very aggressive take there on the site. I honestly am wondering sort of what their pacing momentum there was. Yes, they did lack any info, which I do think is also a little bit of an issue with this team comp in the sense that, yes, the KO knife is there to sort of give you a general idea of where people are, but the lack of any Fade or Sova definitely makes retakes and some early recon a little bit difficult. As we'll see Lackluster here take the Sova drone out into that site, does get destroyed. And it seems that we will get a full push here on the C site, despite pushing its rifles. And Lucid with a beautiful shot through the smoke manages to teleport away from that breach ult. As Lucid puller with a beautiful display of trigger discipline gets himself 2 kills. I'll let you take it from here, Paul.
Yeah, Melson is gonna get the third. It's just gonna aggro out here, but Melson with the 3K saving Passion from the spray down. And there we go, round 2. We're seeing some invention from the side of Lucid finally after, I would say, a quiet start. And well, right now we're seeing more and more of the invention and the adaptation that we need to see from their side to find anything. And I'm most interested in the C side. So far, like, they've been trying to get a lot of picks on the side of Kenzen here. Or Beckons, yeah, sorry, on the side of Beckons here. They're trying to find a lot of stuff in the C area.
Let's play.
But once again, not that much to be found. Drone again, the default is still on. But this time I see actually a very big change that maybe they have noticed. And speaking of changes,
Okay,
Knives and Tour de Forces.
looking to catch the smoke there with the Tour de Force. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. Not as potent as it used to be as some number of patches ago. It did lose its ability to one-shot to the legs, but that does not make it any less intimidating. As we will again see this very unified movement of the Beckons team, which I do like in the sense that they are not losing people individually to silly picks or bad lurks, but they are moving together and they are managing to take these sites. And they're taking them very well. And just like that, they will start getting on the site. Ooh, Showstopper.
Well, it's gonna be good at least for Lackluster to force Polite in that corner. The peak is gonna be there from Polar. The spray down is finally gonna connect, but the trade from Bree onto the Phoenix is there. Lucid is gonna be good for one, but Passion with the insane spray down here can just jumping a little bit too anxiously, and now Passion is put in a Melson is put in a 1v2. Tour de Force in hand, smoked across, Vandal as well. Will he be aware of it? He seems to be, but Passion is better. Picks him out of the smoke while he's going out, and there's round 4 for the side of Beckons, and we're seeing it back and forth here, and it's going to be very interesting from here, Baldingo. The op is out on Kin. Some ultimates are expended, but it looks like it will be a back and forth after a good stint of start, like, you know, a good head start here for the side of Lucid, of course.
This is true, and as we look here at the economies of both teams, Lucid and Beckons both are fairly equal in terms of the old game, with Lucid just needing a couple more kills on, I believe it was KO, in order to get themselves that next ultimate. We will see Lucid cast really try to hold things down. Oh, and here comes the Hunter's Bow.
Oh, Hunter's
A
Fury.
little bit of damage, but not too much. As the boom bot does not find anything and rather comes and pitifully explodes in front of its owner.
Polite here is gonna be tasked with the defense of the garage. The spray down will not be good enough traded by Bree, but stalled is the name of the game for the attackers. They cannot seem to find an entry so far.
Cover going on.
Cass is pretty low, so he's holding a pretty defensive angle, and from the shadows on the backside here. Not gonna detect that much, but at least it forces everybody out of the garage area and into the side, and Melson will not be able to get a multi-kill, and that is gonna be a 3v3, never mind a 2v3 for the defenders. Polar, he's just getting an ID, trying to find an angle.
If I do recall, Lucid does not have a lot of cash here. Be curious to see. They are already running out of time, and these two really have to make a decision here, whether or not to peek or just save the guns as they have it. An Operator and a Vandal, I think it is. And it seems that at this rate, we may in fact get a save from Lucid Kin. Oh no, they will run onto the side. And just like that, they will end up going down with Beckons taking their 5th round, putting us to 2-5.
Yeah, well, 2-5, and it looks like once again, like we're seeing the side of Beckons here just trying to take over a little bit. The early start was pretty good. There was a return from Lucid, but now their economy is pretty much shattered. We're seeing half buy with the recently buffed Stinger on the hands of a few members, but it will only be Polite that is gonna stick out with that to the start of the round.
Indeed, and we'll see
Not too
how
much that early though. Just playing very reserved here on the side of the attack.
we'll see how good that Stinger is. I took it into a practice range earlier today just to see how it felt, and it's interesting, but it's still the Stinger, which I find it is still a very interesting weapon to use, to say the least.
And speaking of Stingers, well, they're just gonna sting their entry onto the side. A Molly and a 0-point wall. Whatever your heart contents, it will be there to delay the push, but it's not gonna delay the inevitable as Passion is good on the flank here. Getting one off the defense, Polite is gonna be good for one. They're trying to hold the side in any way, shape, or form, but it will not be enough. Windy with the brace here enables them to get into the side, and Kin tries to find an outshot here, but not that much to be found. 2v4. Some HP bars are low enough for the Monstro to be threatening though. So let's see how it's gonna happen. Well, the hit is there, but Passion will trade the shot for shot. That leaves Melson.
Once again,
Pretty unlikely. But
he could do it.
Will
They're
he
all
be
low
able
enough.
to break the crossfire? That's the question. Will they break the crossfire? No, he will not.
No, he will not. And I must say, while Beckons did in fact win that round, I want to go back to earlier in that round when we saw Cass throw down that star right there in the middle A main. That was so perfectly executed to the point where, had there been just a little bit more time, the defenders probably could have come back and taken that round for themselves. A lot of Beckon's players were very tagged up by the time that spike went down, and had there been maybe 1-2 members on the from the side of Lucid on the site a little bit sooner, I think they definitely could have turned that round around. But as it stands, that will not be the case, and we'll actually get a very heavy stack. Ooh, does manage to spot out Lucid.
Well, yeah, you know, it's an op. Bye-bye.
Nelson having the money for an op. Quite shocking.
Polar though is gonna hear a ton of footsteps. Let's see how the call's gonna be made. They're trying to clear him out of the angle. He's just gonna elect to play it safely. Very disciplined here, and the Cosmic Divide is gonna be good, but not before Lackluster is gonna find one. Phoenix is opening the ultimate, but there's nothing. They've once again just did the double fake, and they're just like waiting in the lobby area.
Indeed, with that in mind, that Cosmic Divide will cut off a lot of information for the side of Lucid. They do have the positional advantage here, but that does not seem to be the case, as once again the C site is left undefended. Utility will come out and the spike will go down. Lucid has that off. He's pushing up real far for that weapon as they start the retake. Polite pops that ult, and we'll see how things go.
Well, he pops an ult and he gets pop jumping down, and Kin is next in line. Let's see if he's gonna be able to clear it. He will clear one, traded by Passion. Lackluster finding a lot again, and Melson is finding impact, paying dividends to that headhunter, trying to find anything, but they're not giving him a single inch here. Few shots in the chamber, just trying to get anything he can. He's gonna go for the tap, waiting for anything. The paranoia and the flash are perfect in conjunction. Back turn, goodbye, good night, and that's round 7.
Indeed. Kind of the running theme here with Melson being the last man standing almost every single round. And while that does make a little bit of sense when it comes to playing with that operator, does beg the question, you know, should he probably move towards some more aggressive weaponry to help his teammates there out on the site? And not to mention, while it was a very good ultimate by Polite there, I do think that the ideal play probably would have been to go through main there, because in that garage, there's too many angles that you have to cover. And not to mention that once you get onto that site, that whole ultimate is covering almost all the way down to C Cubby, as well as covering Garage. And so with that in mind, I do think we will see how Lucid pull things back here. They have called a timeout, and it is just a matter of time. I think they are consulting each other a bit. All right, we just had a little bit of money there. It's not going anywhere. How are we going to fix this? As it stands, Beckons are absolutely dominating these takes and the defense by sticking together and pushing all of their utility onto the site, but still having some left over. That is definitely something that determines the good teams from the bad teams here, is whether or not you can hold on to your utility after a take. Because having no utility to defend a planted spike is definitely not a fun situation to be in. And so as we get into this round here, we will see a stack actually from the side of Lucid onto the C site, and it appears that, yes, Lucid will spot 2 players out. We'll see.
Seems to be trying to brute force a C entry so far. The smoke from Omen just to get the orb. So are they gonna give it to the Rolling Thunder? Yeah, the Bree has taken it, and that is an ultimate that is available. And now you gotta wonder, how did that cluster get there? What gap in the defense of Melson recovers? And that is a gun as well, but now they know. Okay, the return is to A. Doesn't manage to find that much, but at least he's just trying to stall as much as he can. He's electing to play the side. He wants to buy as much time for his mates as he can, and he has Polar for the backup. The Rolling Thunder will be good, and that is very good utility onto the side. Not that much to find here, but at least they get their lives out there.
Indeed, going into this plant with a post plant with a 4v4, definitely could see something from Lucid. Flash out.
Second flash here. The flash is not going to be good. Bunley and Passion will find 2, and Polar needs to find something. Just flashing in the middle of the open. The smoke faded on the Phoenix, and his life faded with it, and that's round 8 for Beckon.
Indeed. Definitely not a fun map to defend by any measure. And Beckons understand this and have been taking very good advantage of the fact that they will have man advantage pretty much any site you push under any circumstances. And it seems that I'm curious to know as to why they haven't seen a B push. While A and C have been working, I do think that the B take here is very good for them as well. They have a lot of long range. They have a lot of defuse deny, which honestly, when it comes to the B site, is one of the best parts about it. We'll see another stack towards C site. Chamber going towards middle might find something, as we see
concealment.
Phoenix is pushing up.
Yep.
Dart will not spot anyone
Cass
out.
will just tuck in cover from the arrow. That is going to be pretty big. He's going to need to find something. Bunley, though, was almost good for the 2, but good recovery from Polar here is going to take the numbers back to even. Seeing from the shadows on the backside area, they figured out where the Astra is. The entries are coming thick and fast. The paint shells, the boombot. Will Cass find anything? The answer is no. And that is the plan down. Maybe Polite will. Gets out 3.
They're spotted.
Try to find anything, but he's just waiting for his teammates, biding his time, trying to find another opening. Creeps in to the backside area. It's gonna be good for 1. Showstopper, though, is there, and the fuse is running short. The crossfire from Lucid on the garage area, probably anticipating some sort of aggression, but it has not been given. Very well played from the side of Beckons right now. We're seeing the flash. They're playing it really well, and Windy is gonna get 1. Is he gonna be good for the 2nd? Let's see. The double peek is there, but no need. Windy is gonna get the 2K. 9 on the board for Beckons, and it looks like it is beckoning to be their map here with the 9-2 scoreline.
9-2 scoreline as we get here into this round 12, last round before the swap. We will get a timeout from the side of Beckons, and as we look over here at the economies of both teams, the side of Lucid do have a little bit of cash to play with this round, having not bought too much and also been on a substantial loss streak. But ultimately, I do think that this is kind of now or never. But they have even weapons. They've got two ultimates, two very potent ultimates, I might say. And as far as I'm aware, not too much progress towards ultimates on the other side. And I think really here, if Lucid can secure themselves around, they do have a good chance of holding out and winning in this second half. But this has definitely been an interesting game to say the least. Beckons are very strong right now on the attack, playing very patiently and executing things perfectly. And we shall see as this timeout trickles down.
Okay,
It's
here we go.
time to roll.
Back on the board and back in the game. And let's see, will Lucid have their hearts broken again? Or will they actually find their recovery and maybe, just maybe, a slimmer of hope with a 9-3 curse? That is what I'm interested in here, Baldingo.
Indeed. Interesting to not see. There we go. There's one tour de force, and the second one's almost coming.
Oh my god, and
Lucid.
nerves are coming in for Ken here. They're trying to find anything, but it looks like they're just not gonna find a thing in here. Not a damn inch will be given away by the attackers. The ultimate is there, but not that much to be found, and Bunley is actually gonna have a beautiful pick here on Melson in the B area. That is gonna open up the defense. As you can see, KO has to worry about two places at once. He's gonna be late to the party, late to the entry to the garage. And that is gonna leave Cass to try to find something. He's gonna be good for the one, but that's all polite. He's not being too polite, he's pushing out. But Bree is like, nah, sit down, it's okay. Manners, please. Speaking of manners, Polar is gonna be good for another one. And this is looking very doable here for the side of Lucid. It's up to the two duelists to try to find something, to muster an inch. But Passion is doing it so well here with his teammate. It looks like Kin, he has just frozen in place, maybe even, I would say, jaded, as he gives round 10 to the side of Beckons.
Yeah, a little bit rough there for the side of Kin. Hope he's doing all right. But that is exactly what I was talking about when I say that the side of Lucid has this very aggressive composition, agents that excel at moving and killing, and it definitely showed that round. They were not waiting for the plant to take this very slow approach to it. They were moving on to site, they were getting their picks, and they definitely could have had that. And I think if Kin had not frozen up there, that was definitely a round to Lucid's favor. But as we get here into this half, score being 10-2 to Beckon's favor, we shall see how things play out and in this pistol round.
Yeah, momentum is very necessary here for the side of Lucid. Remember, this is the best of 3. You need to find a footing for map 2 at the very least. And so far, they seem to be trying to do so. They are answered, but Kin is gonna be good on to Bunley. Windy is just gonna let them through, let them pass, and they are just trying to play for the retake. And 2 members of the side of Lucid are gonna go back to the cubby and long area. Actually 3. But now it is gonna be up to Passion to find anything. That will be the question. Will be able to find something. The astral form there for Cass, caught up in a bit of a peculiar timing. The same for the Omen as well. Battle of the controllers. Have to juggle very high APM. Meanwhile, on the side, Melkin is gonna be good for the 2. The spray down from Polite will not matter. Bree will jail him down. Very low HP for the defenders, but they're trying to do it. A second from Bree. Polar and the double peak with Kin to secure round number 3 and a necessary pistol claimed for the side of Lucid.
There's that attacker-sided map I was talking about earlier. And while Beckons did do well to try and hit that retake, it was very difficult to do. 5 men alive on the side of Lucid when that spike went down with a man down. Definitely not an easy thing to do. And as we roll here into the second round, it does appear that we will get a full save from the side of Beckons, looking to full buy the next round as Lucid go for a half buy, SMGs and armor. And as a full stack towards this A site, it appears, yes, there's going to be a full-blown rush. They will spot out Lackluster, and they will move in. Take it away, Vault.
Yeah, a lot of light armor, so this round could be very volatile here. It's gonna depend on how the classics happen, and so far the classic is not doing that well for Passion, and a bit better for Lackluster. Manages to find one, but that's the side already done, and Dusted Bunley with the Headhunter. They're good for the first, but not for the second. Cass is gonna swing as well, claim down Bree, and that is gonna leave Wendy here in a 3v1, trying to find anything. Good flick, but the jump down will be very unfortunate as he's gonna be claimed down by Polite. And there we go, finally the attack is paying favor here for Lucid, and maybe even we're gonna see a very strong attack. It's all gonna depend and rest on this gun round, because you already have double digit for the side of Beckons. If they've managed to string their 11th, it's gonna be very dangerous and a very fine line that the members of Lucid have to offer.
I must say kudos to Cass for having the amount of foresight that he does. We go on to these rounds, and after those post-plan, all those Astra Stars go down, and they don't go down all at once. They're not popped all at once. There's definitely a level of patience there that is not being, or that is being shown. It seems that
it looks like no patience is being shown on the A hit once again, but this time they're more than prepared on the side of Beckons. There's a lot of spray downs, and HP bars have been brought low on either side. Sand is gonna commence.
Spike planted.
Still have a fair bit of utility as the smoke phase. Wendy's trying to just itch himself a corner, trying to find himself anything. The nade will be good to force Kin out of position, but that's gonna be all down to 40 HP.
Not a lot of health.
Looking very doable for the defense, and Bunley from the backstab here is gonna be good for one, but not for the second. Polite has his number, and looks like Lucid has the number of the defense here. It's down to Bree on a 1v3, but he is gonna fall to the Kin is gonna bring the 5th, and there we go. Rounds are being strung 3 in a row. Bonus converted. It's like a deja vu of the first half, but will it be a full deja vu, and will the side of Beckons actually get something, or will Lucid continue their dominance?
I mean, I saw there, I think if Lucid had a round, or excuse me, if Beckons had a round to win, it was that right there. By the time that plan went down, Lucid had a lot of players on very low HP, but I don't think necessarily to count them out here. They do still have quite the substantial lead and could seal things away in just a few rounds as they begin pushing up this middle. Beckons playing very aggressive here on the defense. Oh, and I don't think they're gonna spot him out. Finds one, not the second though. Polite will trade back as Lucid creep closer and closer to the C site and seem to be on the move.
Okay, Wendy. A very big ask of both him and Bree to hold the side here, but oh, looks like the double fakes are being pulled everywhere. Passion is going to be spotted, but Polite is not in a very good position here, and Wendy manages to claim his head, just clothesline him with the Sheriff. The attack is circling back to the A side, but they're even on numbers, and that's gonna actually leave a lot of space for the defense. Already have one Phantom in hand, and maybe even a second soon, a Spectre as well. And this retake is looking very doable here. It's a very scary situation for Lucid, and they need to hold it together. They need to get their nerves. The defense is well organized. The machine is well oiled. This looks like they're just waiting for their go sign. The go sign is there, but oh my, Kin will be cleared. Very great awareness here from Lackluster, also dodging everything that they can, just trying to find anything. Very reserved play from the side of Lucid. They know how important this round is. They know how important it is to get anything, but they will get none. And that is round 11 for the side of Beckons. A very good retake here, and a very powerful eco round.
Thrifty.
Powerful eco round indeed, and that puts them to 11-5. And maybe even closer to that map point that they're looking for as we take a peek at the economies here. Both teams do still have enough. Bunley actually opting for the operator. Maybe looking to take an aggressive peek here down C main. But I think right there, that was a very key moment in that had Beckon's not taking that round, I think they'd still be very strapped for cash. And because also, not to mention they took it with so many people, they could probably drop a few rounds here and still be okay. And we'll see what they do here as Lucid move up towards that middle. Phoenix Rebirth is coming in.
Yep, he do be running it back, and Windy, he's gonna be able to at least find them. No damage done at all, but the B side is taking over. But remember, this is the side there. The retakes are very strong. You have a lot of pincers, you have a lot of tools, you have a Hunter's Fury trying to find anything. A good bit of damage, and he's gonna find two!
Double kill.
Lackluster, and oh my god, the swing is there as well from Passion. Trying to find anything, but the recovery is great here. Polar and Polite are gonna get one apiece, and that's the 3v2. Attackers have a very good position, but they're tucked in. It's gonna depend on these shots, but can a beautiful swing take down the operator. And that's Polar at least getting the plan, getting out safely. And now you gotta clear the jet, that much you will do. Lackluster is there. You have Bree as well, it's a 2v1. Polar has to play very reserved, very respectful. The timer is ticking down, already down to half. It's just sticking it, he's sticking it, and that's match point and 4K from the Sova.
A very beautiful ult there from Lackluster, and a very good retake after that. And just like that, yes, as you said, we are on match point for Beckons here on this map. And I do think that if I might say this a lot, but in a game like Valorant where every round really can determine the momentum of match, I mean, this is it right here. They've got 3 ultimates, a Tour de Force, a Jet ultimate, and a KO ult. They're gonna move on to this A site. Excellent use here, and just like that, we are moving and rolling. As the recon dart is destroyed.
The good old jet trick, just dashing up the wall, and he has dispatch of Lackluster. Now it is down to Passion to try to find anything. Only gonna be good for the one. Looks like the attack is going pretty well so far, but the retake is already there. The cavalry is onto the link area. They're just being stalled by every mean possible. The molly will mean that the Rolling Thunder will not be very effective, as it is wearing out. Very beautiful piece of utility here from the side of Lucid, stalling them even further and further. Finally, the spike plant is gonna go down. You can see they're trying to find anything. Knives is there, Tour de Force is there. Windy's just gonna full swing, you know, just popping. What's popping, boys? Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna try to find anything. Polite and Bree are gonna trade 1 for 1. It's down to Bree in a 1v3. The running back will not run anything, but Kin, the knives will find the double, and that is round number 6. They're giving themselves a lifeline here. They're giving themselves that, at least like the fighting spirit. But the cushion is really comfortable for the side of Beckons.
This is true. So comfortable, in fact, that they will be taking a half buy here, opting for armors and pistols at that. And now Lucid definitely have a chance here to grab themselves a few rounds. I say again, they cannot afford to drop another round. We will see the Tour de Force come out on the side of Beckons. Oh, I forgot there for a second. And now Lucid will make their moves, the free moves that they have. Spree opts to take a little bit of a more chill angle as
You are divided.
Yep, there we go. Throw down that Astro Wall and get ready to push as we see that smoke does come out from the Omen.
His position is known, but he's gonna be good for the one, trying to find a second aftershock to buy himself some time. The paint shell will at least stall it down a little bit. Polite is brought down, finally finished off by Windy. And this round is looking very dangerous for the attack. At least Ken is gonna find something. Windy though, it's on a tear. It's gonna be good for the second, and Passion, he's gonna be able to find one, and that's Steve Melson.
Melson, the infamous last man standing, has the Phantom, doesn't have that spike. He will get spotted out by the drone here. They know he's here. He's been darted.
He's been smoked as well. They're just praying, waiting for him to make a mistake, waiting for him to show a whisker of aggression here. 30 seconds down the clock.
Really check the
clock
corner.
is ticking. He's checking the corner. He's gonna be good for the one. It's down to a 1v1, and it's looking very doable here. Will Lucid have another lifeline? That is the question against the Stinger.
Lackluster.
And you leave up weapon.
Oh, he's not looking the right way.
idea is good, and that's gonna be the
Just use
7th
our faces.
for Melson.
Sorry, I should not laugh.
Nelson finally managing to clutch out a round for his team. Will keep them in this game and in this map. This was not Beckon's pick, I would like to point out. But nonetheless, performing this well here would mean, this was Lucid's pick. So it would be within their best interest to win this map, assuming that Beckons are strong on their other pick, which I think would be a fair assumption to make. But nonetheless, we are going to keep rolling here. Lucid immediately.
Yep, and another one, as the good old DJ Collins would say, you know, we're seeing yet again just another A hit, but this time it looks like they're gonna elect for the 5v5 retake. Trying to find a few pot shots here on the side of Passion, but it's very respectful. I'm very interested in seeing the 5v5 retake, but for now the site is clear. They're trying to find anything, and the plant is gonna be in the open area. Polar, oh no, he's being held down, and Windy is gonna finish him off with the last remnant, the shrapnel of the paint shell.
Enemy mark.
Defense now is trying to find angles, trying to find the cracks in the hold of the defense. Fully blind here. Polite kills are coming thick and fast. Lucid are finding their footing, but they're finding more. Double from Kin. B is gonna trade 2v2. Very close, very doable. The swing is there, but Melson is good for it. Now it's all down to Bree, trying to find anything. The hook is not there, and Cass is gonna claim the 8th, and it looked like, woo, that is a very rapid round, and the comeback is coming in, and we're gonna see the timeout for the side of Beckon.
We will see the timeout from the side of Beckons, and at this point, if you are Beckons, you're a little on edge at the moment. You started this half with a 10-2 lead, which then immediately was, I believe, at one point 12-5, and now that was 3 rounds ago, and you've lost every single round there. So you really have to take into account what's happening and where the momentum's at here. If you're not careful, the amount of money and the amount of ultimates that can get stacked on the side of Lucid will make it pretty hard to start winning these rounds, and not in the sense that they can't win. They can't win. If they win one round, yes, they do win. But any losses that they inflict upon Lucid will be not felt in the event that they have the money to just keep buying and stay in this for the long game, maybe even taking it to overtime. And I do have to say there, from the side of Beckons, I do think that they need to make a little more effort to move into these backside retakes on the A site. As we've noticed, they really have been pushing heaven and main all these times, but have completely neglected short sewers and the A long. And so the question really does remain, you know, oh wow, what is this?
It's a 5-on-5. It's a Mexican standoff in the A area. Okay, let's see how it's gonna happen. Shots back and forth. A little bit of chip damage is done onto the attack. They're just walking into a death trap. Let's see how aware they are about it, though. That is gonna be the name of the game. Walking into the smoke is gonna be very dangerous. At least Polar is gonna find one. 3 for the second, but it's traded for 2. Passion is finding more, and it's a 3v2 for the defense. They've recovered some guns. It looks like maybe this is where the lines end. Maybe this is the end of the road for the side of Lucid. Unless Melson and Cass find something. They've been finding stuff consistently. Cass will find one, but the spray will not be good. And Melson, he was good in the last 1v2. Will he be good in the second? All down onto him. Dark cover. He's out of the cover. He's gonna find the first. Oh my god. Oh, the misery. Will he find it again? Bree managed to take him finally.
Defenders win.
The Thrifty will go down, and that's a strong ground and a wrap up for map 1.
Wow.
Indeed. After a very tumultuous first half and a very scary looking second half, Breakins do manage to get themselves the map 1, not their pick, and so we shall see what they do here with the second half. Quicksand, what are your thoughts there?
Bro, I can't tell you how many times in that second half that I'm just sitting here and I'm like, yo, okay. I'm on, okay. Let me just go. Oh, they won the round again. They won the round again. Like, yeah, there were so many back and forth. I gotta say, it was a really, really good effort from Lucid. They had a lot of chances to try and pull themselves back in the game, and they kept holding on as hard as they could, but they just couldn't make it. And that's what I want to start off with, Volt. Why was such a big lead taken on top of Lucid at the start of the game, and then Lucid kind of started getting their footing later on? Was it they just started like they turned on the aim hacks later? They started playing better. At what point was Lucid slacking at the start of the game, and what happened later?
I think Lucid did just come up pretty cold to the server early on. So, cold feet. So you just take a few rounds, you take the plunge, you try to get your footing back, but suddenly you're tasked with a multi-layered equation of like, okay, maybe I need to get my aim up, I need to get my game, I need to put my footprint on a server. But in the same time, everybody needs to use their brain power. Like, okay, how are we going to respond to what Beckons is providing? Especially on a map like Haven, where Beckons has been playing a very good macro game of all of these double fakes, the back and forths, the cells, the fakes, and then the executes. They've been very organized. So it was just a question of, can I unlock that equation? And so far, in the first half, they managed to not find that much. And that was just basically highlighted in the 10-2 scoreline, but then they managed to find some footing back with the pistol. That was very necessary. And I would say this is a win for them, even though, yes, they technically lost, but coming back from an 8-round disadvantage, double digits on the first half, is going to at least put them in a good position for map 2.
And Baldingo, what about you? Did you feel like, yeah, it was Lucid just really cold and Banks was already hot? And then how does that look going into the next game, as Volt was saying? Are they now that they've started turning on, they've been stoking the embers and the flames are getting hotter, will they be looking a lot better next game?
I would have to agree with what Vault said. I did feel like Lucid did come out a little timid into this match. Maybe it's the pressure of having to scrap for their place here in the group stage, or maybe it was just, as he said, coming out cold. But I did like to see that there was a level of improvement that we saw from Lucid coming into the as the game progressed. As I said in the beginning, they have these aggressive agents that they weren't taking really to the places that they could work with. But then as the game progresses, and definitely on attack, they made it work. They kept going. And I think they made a lot of improvements there. And I also do have to say that from the side of Breckons as well, they made an excellent use of all the utility they had and really did take advantage of the fact that they had a little bit more flexible of a team comp. That is what I think is tends to be the problem when it comes to these team comps that are composed so heavily of very popular agents, is that they tend to feel very one note. I mean, on the side of Lucid, we had Jet, KO, Phoenix, Chamber, and Astra. Well, Astra is a very good, strong defensive champion. Her attack really does depend on your teammates getting there, getting the spike down, and letting you initiate a post plan. And then on the side of Jet and Phoenix, very good attacking operators, very good aggressive operators. Excuse me, agents. This is not Rainbow Six. But with these agents, your defense is not going to be as strong. Jet, the smokes aren't fantastic. They can work, and her peeking is amazing, but I didn't see enough of that from Kin to really get all that he could have out of this game. And on the side of Phoenix, a strong champion, especially after his recent buffs, the flashes being absolutely absurd, is definitely was struggling this game. And Melson did have some very key moments there, kept his team in the game several times, but I do think too, as well from him, we could have definitely seen something. And that is not to say that these players did not play wonderful, but I do think that it took them a little bit to get started, but I think in the second map, they will show up to play.
So while our fire starts burning hotter and hotter and hotter, we're going to have to step back and maybe get the fire extinguisher just in case it gets that bad. And while we run off to get that, we will jump to a quick break, and we'll probably be back straight into Agent Select for our next game as we kick it off. So we'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. What's up? Okay, so we were just talking about who we thought the strongest. We were like League of Legends and Valorant lore crossovers, and who the strongest lore-wise agent is. I mean, we had Baldingo cover. Ooh, you said it was who was it?
I said I might be biased, but I said it was Fade.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So-
Go ahead.
Well, and I say that by virtue of the fact that technically she can manipulate fears and such, something that is, I guess you could theoretically say is inherent in every person. You can find that, and you can find them. I think according to the cinematic where she was introduced, she can affect KO, which by that, what is it? If she can affect KO, then she can affect the one thing that can stop her because she's radiant. Now, granted, a bullet can stop her too, but that's my vote.
Okay. Look, we don't have much time. I'll let you cast yours on agents. Like for me, I thought it was maybe Neon, but no, it's Astra. Obviously, she got like black holes and can manipulate the cosmic world. So I'm gonna throw it to Astra, and I'm also gonna throw it to Agent Select because we might have jumped in a bit too quickly, so I didn't get much time to talk. Volt, go give your thoughts once we're in there.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, we are in the icebox. We're talking about bringing the heat. Well, this is the extinguisher. Just an icy mountain in the background. It's all good. Okay, now we're seeing the good old comps. We're seeing Viper on both ends, Chamber on both ends. We're seeing another Phoenix from the side of Cass. And that is gonna be the adaptation, and I'm actually like very intrigued about on the side of Lucid. We don't see a Viper. We don't see a Raze.
No, not a lot of, not too much smoke utility here. I definitely would say that Viper is probably, this is one of her strongest maps, if not her strongest, and definitely someone that makes this map a lot easier to do anything on. You can sit there and you can throw down, cut off mid, cut off B. If you're on defense, you can block any lines of sight for the attackers. On A site, you can manage to split that in half as an attacker and prevent any rotates from coming through without hitting that decay wall, which honestly is surprisingly a very big blow to your health bar, assuming you don't get into cover and let that decay run out. We are seeing again the chamber, and this time a Sage on both sides, which I think for the purposes of this match will be very important. I was noticing that a lot of times, especially for Lucid there on the beginning half of the game, they were going into these rounds and just struggling to go in there with a man advantage. So I think having these Sages here will help both teams on their retakes. And I also think here on this map pick, which was Lucid's pick, I believe, or no, excuse me, this was Brecken's pick. But what happens here is I think that there's going to be a lot more contest when it comes to these retakes. It's a lot easier as opposed to Haven, where you have to, as a defender retaking a site, we have to push very far back into the map and come back around. All right, something that takes a lot of time.
Mid run down from the side of Lucid. Just taking the mid area by storm, just jumping down orange, jumping down kitchen. They know that the chamber is there. So a lot will be down to Bunley. Just try to stay alive. He's one of our leading players here in VRS. But he's tasked with a very hard find. At least it's gonna be good for one. That's gonna be very good in this situation. Bomb already planted. Spike, rather. Yeah, this is not Counter-Strike either. And now, the retake is ensuing. The double peak is gonna be good here. Melson is gonna collect one kin, and Polite as well are gonna rally up to a total of 4. And will it be 5? Yes, it will. As Kaz lines up his second, and that's the pistol round already for Lucid. A very strong side here. Start, rather.
Good start. This is true. And I kind of want to go back to what I was saying earlier about these retakes. If we took a note of where all of Brecken's players were when they met their untimely demise, they were very spread out. They managed to get to these retake angles, which I say again is much easier to do on a map like Icebox than it is on Haven. And I do think that was one of the biggest downfalls of the defending teams on Haven, is that they all insisted on, when retaking the A site, just going through A main, going through Heaven, these very choked off, difficult to push sites. and just getting absolutely annihilated because of that. But right here, they have a little more flexibility, actually pushing all the way up through mid, and it does seem that we will get a wall here already. Lucid, ooh, Cass steps in that shock dart, and he absolutely railed. And now,
Speaking of stepping onto stuff, Felight was just tipping onto a Sova, trying to break the wall. But at least Lackluster now is gonna be aware of that much. The retake is not going that well. Never mind, Bunley and Passion are gonna get the pair. Passion with the second as well, and the retake is looking much more doable now. The Thrifty is looking imminent. Polar is up to him to try to stop them. 25 HP in the Viper Snake Bite, and a 4K from Passion to take back the round, to claw it back on the Thrifty.
An amazing round there by Passion. Excellent aggression there onto the site. And then the ability to pick up that gun and keep rolling with it. Absolutely wonderful. And just like that, we're on that third bonus round. And we have not seen a second round win from the first round losers here in a while. Hashtag save wide joy. As we're going to start moving onto these sites, Passion will appear to be throwing that wall down. Definitely not a fun site to push with that Venom wall up, excuse me, as there's not a lot of places for you to go without getting decayed. But we'll see how they manage here. They did probably hear that coming out, and Passion, wow, will get very high up in this.
Very aggressive here in the jail position.
Nelson might see him.
Will he? He hasn't so far. He hasn't so far. It's gonna be a first, and it will be a second as well. The 3K from Passion. He is very passionate about trying these finds. Bree is gonna link up for the fourth, and it's all down to the single frenzy of Blight. Pins her down. It's looking very undoable, but at least he's gonna salvage a single kill. But it will not be enough. No, never mind. A second there. But just before that, Lackluster is gonna wrap up the round. At least some kills are found on the save round here from the side of Lucid, but that was very well played by the side of Passion.
Yeah, Passion has showed up to play this round. He was not happy with the ending of that last game. And so it appears that he is out for blood as we move into this fourth round, and we'll see a full buy from both teams, rifles and armor across the board. One ultimate per team. Passion with the Viper's Pit, and Cass with the run it back. Flash out.
And attacking off as well. Very peculiar to see that.
Yes,
that is gonna be very strong on the retakes if they do show up, but so far looks like here comes the run it back. He is being stalled here. Half of the duration has expired. He has a good grasp of where some people are, but he's not given an opportunity to find anything as the dart cover goes down. That will be the plan, but that would be a 5v5 retake.
Take flight.
And now it shall ensue the hunt, the scavenging for any piece of information. The comeback is just needing to be found here on the side of Lucid. They need to equal it out, but oh no!
Gosh,
the wall has a gap in it. He's defusing through the wall. He's sticking it. Is
oh
he?
My gosh, is
no,
he
is.
Oh, an absolute blunder.
A steal!
On the side of Lucid.
An absolute steal from Passion. Not again.
No.
Back to back, this man provides.
Back to back to back to back. Passion just being an absolute monster this game. Stealing that defuse, as you said, through the wall and getting himself many kills, putting him many kills as well. 7 and 2 at the 5th round, as opposed to his teammates' closest 2 kills.
Yeah, that's just he's taken the match over so far, and we're gonna need to see like a sort of response here. The arrow is at least gonna be good for spotting them in the mid area. They're trying to find something. Bunley will find one. Lackluster trying to link up as well. It looks like they will, as a 3-man death squad. The foreign squad will take down Kin here, finalized by Windy. Passion as well for his 8th of this game so far in 4 rounds, and it's looking so good for Becken here.
I'm getting a little bit of deja vu right now, Vault. I mean, this is kind of how the first game started, and it seems to be, for lack of a better term, even worse than it was before, as Passion is just being an absolute monster here on the icebox and holding Lucid at the tip of his finger. They can do anything.
6
Oh,
HP
Nelson,
on the up.
very low.
Trying to
Oh,
find
gets shot
anything,
back
but
by
just
Lackluster.
backstabbed, yeah.
And almost a completely flawless round there for the side of Breckens, with only about 10 damage being done to the team in total. And yes, if I were Lucid, I too would call a timeout to figure out what's going on here. Definitely not the best start to the game, but don't count them out just yet. We did see them start to pull themselves back at the end of last game, and I think that may be exactly what is happening now as well. Their team composition is good. They can make things work on this map, and I believe at this rate it is just a matter of execution. Now, it's definitely wanted to point out that on that round that they lost through the defuse through the wall, every single member of Lucid was there in that B main, and it definitely begs the question of what really was their plan there, because they did have the ability to maybe rotate around towards mid and pick off someone from there, but they kind of were out of options when it came to the defensive side of their spike, and I think that is really what led to their downfall, as Passion, with no pressure from behind, no pressure from anywhere else except in front of him where he was covered, managed to just snag that defuse through the wall and put Lucid really far on their back foot. Melson will be popping the tour de force this round by the looks of it, and hopefully he can use that to his favor and turn things around for Lucid. Yes, I do in fact want to play, and it seems that Passion wants to play as well. The Viper's Pit going down on that A site and locking things off for Lucid if they want to do anything. Oh, but
Cass, well, Bree is there for the collection. And well, you have been harvested, Phoenix, and that is another pick, another opener. We were talking about the side of Lucid. They are pretty resilient, but so far the openings and the space have been controlled much better by the side of Beacon. And it's looking to be continuing fashion. That will be the name of the game we're seeing here. The pit is there, the drone is gonna spot Lackluster. He needs to duck out, and he will in due time. And well, that is looking like a very scary proposition for the attack. You're just staring down a Viper's Pit.
Very interesting to see them commit this hard. I mean, if I were Team Lucid, I would just have to pull off of the site right now. As long as that Viper's Pit is up, you don't know where anyone is, but you also know exactly where Passion is. He has to be inside of that Viper's Pit. But with 30 seconds ticking down, I mean, they really are losing some time. They might be able to get there on this B site, but they have to move quickly. And with reckless abandon going through that middle, they do have to spike. Oh, but Polite's walking. They're not gonna have time.
He realized that he has the spike.
Oh my gosh,
10 seconds left, and they're gonna peek into an AWP, and that's only finding one.
Yes,
they're all gonna save.
Yeah,
which is the call they have made here. Look, like, as you can see, like, they're trying to find a cross, trying to find anything, but he's only gonna teleport into his own demise here as Lackluster picks him up, and that is the 5th. And so far, lack of innovation and invention once again from the side of Lucid. They're starting their games cold, and maybe that's why. Yes, they're just like a tab behind.
Blunder from Lucid indeed. Popping an ultimate that round, the tour de force, and honestly, taking the non-optimal route of staring down that Viper's Pit and giving up a free round, which, as the momentum states, is not really a great idea at the moment. They need to find something here, and yet the only thing they found so far are brick walls, and no matter how much they pound on them, they are not getting through. As maybe we'll see some action here come out from Lucid as they start moving past this wall.
Just are whipping. There are a 3-man setup here on the A side. The crossfire is just disabling anyone from the side of Lucid to go in, as it will combine. They link into a pair here. Bunley brought down pretty low. Sagio just to back him up. And that will signal the retreat here for the side of Lucid, but look at the side of Beckons here. Look at Bree. I really like the way that they're playing so far. Like, you gotta give it to them. They are playing super well, super regimented. So Ballin goes, like, looking at that kind of setup, do you think that they will manage to adapt and break it? Especially that this is their map pick, and you can see they're much more confident here. Ken is gonna revive in the smoke. He's gonna run back, but once again, time is very short. It's running thin, and it is all but dry here. 20 seconds left, and you need to push through the smoke. A teleport is there, but oh no, he's not gonna manage to find anything. Passion and Windy are gonna connect for the 2. 10 seconds left on the clock. They need to find something. They need to get in. Polar is looking to answer, and he's the call. 5 seconds, and the plan is finally coming in. It looks like the round is very doable here for the attacking side. If they manage to link up, and that they will. Polar with a beautiful shot on Bree. They know where Lackluster is. They know he's in the smoke. The spray down is there, and his second is on the board off the back of the 3K of Polar.
A sketchy round indeed. They do manage to put themselves on the board once again, getting to 2-5 here early in the second, or about halfway through this first half. And I must say, I am noticing that Lucid is holding on to their utility. I mean, they go to these sites and they seem to be trying to push with no utility whatsoever. I mean, maybe a flash, maybe a smoke, but other than that, they are running in exposed with only their guns to their names. They are saving the utility for the post plant, which, as I've said earlier, is very important. But I do think they have to start sticking a little more resources into these initial takes, or they're going to have sketchy rounds like that where they either don't get the spike down or just barely get the spike down. I mean, I think had the Sage ult not come through there and a revive on the side of Lucid not come up, I think I don't know if they would have gotten that round. Oh,
Polar in the smoke. Instantly mandated by Passion. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the dark cover by. That is an absolutely nasty shot here from the Viper on the off angle. Responded to by Polite, but Passion is just holding the angle very strong. Bree with the ultimate. Is it gonna be good? It will. And Kaz is gonna be found. Melson on the off, just trying to find anything, trying to reek a corner, trying to find an itch of a body. Polite. That's not very nice of you to be spotted there. And you're gonna run into everyone. Bunley is there as well. And Passion manages to find a ding. The man is on a tear. And that's gonna force Melson to probably go back.
30 seconds left.
Just try to save the op, and I would say maybe even think about conceding the gun as a whole if you're scared of a double op proposition.
Melson, the lone survivor, as has been the theme in this match, is definitely on his back foot here. Does manage to get that pick, but may call it there. But now everybody knows where he is. He was gooshed there by Passion on his way out. And with 2 seconds down, the round will end, and we'll see if Passion, ooh, maybe he wants to kick it out.
Oh,
he will! Lightning beaks him, taking him out.
what a legend! He just
Reckons on to their 6th round. Will now start to get more ultimates on the board. That showstopper doing work last round, I think, really cementing Lucid's fate. And I mean, ultimately, if you're Lucid, things are just not looking up. We do see a full save come out, excuse me, in favor of maybe buying for this next round. Not too many ultimates close to being done, with at least 2 points, or at most 2 points being the, no, it is at least, my bad. But you get the idea. They're not looking too hot right now, but it's all right. Watch this eco round. Bam, just like that. A little bit of damage in, that's all you need, but Bree.
And there's one. Here's the second. They're just linking up beautifully here on the defense, just trying to find the picks, using the utility in a very nice fashion here. Ken, oh no, the nerves are getting to the members of Lucid. You can tell it. You can tell what's happening, but hey, they're trying to find something back. They do have the strength to do so, and another miss from Bunley here is gonna open up some space, but Bree is gonna be good. He's holding it very strong in the B area with the 3K. Maybe even itching for the 4, just holding the spike. Is down to Melson here. He has to peek with the headhunter. The satchel will not reach. And that is gonna be Melson just stuck in a single room here. Peeked down by Passion. The man just has no fear in his heart, and he has 13 on the board to wrap up round 7 for the side of Beacon, and out of 9 rounds in the game so far. 7-2, such a dominant scoreline here.
Dominant scoreline indeed. And no small thanks to anyone there on the side of Breckens. Everybody playing their part. Bree with a beautiful hold there on that B site to prevent the eco round from going any further. And now Lucid are definitely in it to win it this round. They've got guns, they've got armor, and just 1 kill away from an ultimate there for the side of the Phoenix, and I believe it was the Sage as well. Now they will get spotted out, but they start moving down, pushing through the smoke, spraying down. Cass picking up that orb, getting ready for the run it back.
It looks like Beckon is coming in. The Sage Wall not in position though. A bit too tight here. Maybe not even good enough for the plan, as we're seeing Kin. But Passion, she manages to find one. They're trying to find a lot of stuff. We're running back, maybe even too much at once. But Cass is not going to be able to find anything with the running back. They can hear him. They can hear him. What is happening, Bully? You can clearly hear the Phoenix here. You can hear the teleport as well. Looks like Polar is on something of Passion again. Oh, okay, wait, Ward? Bro, check Passion's PC. Something is not right with their game.
Bro, he must be cheating because he's been shooting through those smokes like an absolute beast. Similar to Lackluster, he manages to find 2, not before
30
the
seconds
third.
left.
But now Cass does have the spike. Could theoretically no longer has time to go back to A site. He did about 20 seconds ago.
Flash.
Wonder what he's gonna do here.
Could do a good bit of damage though. It's gonna be up to him to basically by the time and try to find something, but the swing from Passion is immaculate. That's 8-2, and it's looking like a deja vu of Haven here with the streak that we are seeing.
Pros don't fake, and Passion knows it, immediately swinging out and just absolutely annihilating Cass on the plant there. And now with that Viper's Pit and that Tour de Force out, Lucid have 2 very big threats to deal with on the push. We'll probably see that Viper's Pit come out on the A site and hold them off there, and you maybe get another stalled out round. And then we'll probably see the Tour de Force come out on that B site and just hold down that long with Reckless Abandon. There we go. Here comes the Tour de Force, and here comes the Viper's Pit. Actually, Tour de Force on the side of Lucid, not from Reckons.
Yeah, that's the Eco Tour de Force, trying to find anything, any opening for the attack. But so far, not that much found. The Viper's Pit once again. They're gonna be able to contest here, but is it gonna be good enough? Melson is gonna find one, but Passion once again on another find, again and again and again. Insanity from the Viper so far.
You talk about a map where Viper is dominant, and this is just a prime example of one of it. This positioning for the Viper's Pit is absolutely brutal, because not only does it block off your initial entrance to the site, but it blocks off most of the sites and gives the Viper so many options to just absolutely annihilate you.
Cass whips and the 2K from Blackluster as well to link up, not even an inch given to the side of Lucid. Drone as well. Here comes the Tour de Force shot. Now you will be sprayed down. You might even be pushed. Let's see. Passion and an 18 kill, 9-2, and it looks like this map is a bit of a rout for the side of Beckton.
Indeed, last round they do still have that Tour de Force, but no ultimates almost for the side of Lucid. They may be able to push up. You can get that Omen ult on the B main, but that might be about it. I mean, I just don't see a lot for them to do here. They have rifles, they have armor, they've got the equipment, but they need the execution here. They need the plan, and that plan appears to be going up this B main and seeing what they can make happen with their current facilities.
Yeah, but the death ball hasn't been working so well, Ballingo. I don't know about it once again. But hey, maybe it works. When the death ball works, it starts rolling and it becomes an absolute plow. But so far, you gotta commend the side of Beckons here for their ability to maintain and hold map control, even on lower numbers and against bigger odds, just with very nice utility usage and great gunplay. Like, I'm not gonna take that away from them. Speaking of gunplay, here comes Bree with the first. Not gonna be able to connect for the second here, as Polar is gonna be good for the trade. Melson with the second there, but Bunley is just gonna make sure that it will be evened out. The plant is gonna come in, so at least the third is a very doable proposition unless Lackluster.
Oh, Lackluster.
They're onto something. They're onto something, but Ken is onto that as well. Very impressive there, and now it's looking very hard. Fashion, does she have a choice? Let's see how it's gonna happen. They might find something here. They might find something. But Polar once again being the difference maker for the side of Lucid. So down to volley, 47 HP, and it's not gonna be good enough. A 9-3 and a 3K from Polar.
Very good. A good execute and good finally using that utility that they've been spending so much money on this game. Lucid managed to make history not repeat itself and end this half at 9-3 to the favor of Breckens. And now with this defensive push, I'm very curious to see how Passion plays it on this particular map. He does have a lot of options when it comes to that Viper wall. Been absolutely brutal with it this game. We shall see what they want.
Okay, botting goes. I shout correctly there. A few people from chat informed me that actually the entirety of Beckons is a female-non-binary team that is actually competing in Game Changers right now for the qualifiers, as far as I'm aware.
Beautiful.
So,
that's
yeah.
on me. All right.
No, it's okay. I'm just giving you a heads up. But yeah, so far they have been representing really well. A very stellar performance from the side of Beckons, and now it's gonna be up for them to show invention on the attack. They've figured out a few positions. Lucid, the pistol round is necessary, pivotal. It is something that they need if they have a realistic chance in fighting the game. It looks like Polite gonna be good for one, and it's gonna stay alive for the second, and Cass as well linking up. Very beautiful here from the side of the defense, getting their lead, and in a very necessary round. Some HP bars are low, but it is looking very good for the defense.
But Breckens is 2-player down. His Passion waits for maybe somebody to get antsy here, but nonetheless, they will appear to stick to this A side, losing a little bit of time. We'll have to choose and commit here as they creep up.
30 seconds left.
Waiting for that timer to go down. It looks like, yes, they will start moving here. What's happening, Vault?
Okay, let's see. Cass is ready with the flashbang, but the snake bite is gonna move him out of the position, so at least they have a good angle here. Passion is gonna be good for the one. Here comes the flashbang. Here comes Melson. Here comes Polar, and here comes round 4. The pistol converted. Hope emerged for the side of Lucid.
And Lucid take the first round of the half. Definitely could do them some good here, as it may or may not secure them the next couple rounds and keep this gap a little closer than it was last game. And I think that is exactly what is going to happen here. As we look on the side of Breckens, again, taking the full save almost. However, with Passion, grabbing themselves a nice set of light armor along with their teammate Windy. And I do want to shout out Passion for hitting that 20 bomb there by the end of the first round of the second half. And now they will start moving in for this mid play.
Wait, they just straight up ran into Voider. No contest at all. From the side of Lucid. It's gonna be all down to the paranoia. The spray is not gonna be good. Polite is only gonna be good for one, but it looks like they're gonna wrap it up with a 4K, and the ace will be stolen by Sass. That was a very beautiful paranoia from Polar there. Great recovery as well.
Definitely an aggressive play, an interesting play to say the least. I mean, I guess that's sort of the best option you got there on a eco round. I mean, they all bought their they didn't buy their classics, but the players grabbed their classics. They all strapped up and they ran straight down into that ace site to get close, where the classic excels at, arguably. But I mean, I think they may have gotten one or two there, but that paranoia from the side of Polar probably did do a number there to their plan. As we'll see Lackluster shoot the recon dart into the site. Doesn't actually spot anyone out. Oh, but does get spotted from behind.
Yeah, but this is the round. This is the conversion that could actually give very big hope for Lucid here. If they manage to at least inflict very big economy damage, they'll be in a very good position in this round. If they even manage to find it, suddenly they're back in the driver's seat for contesting the map pick of Beckons nonetheless. But so far, the map control is taking in a very nice fashion from the side of Beckons. Bree is gonna be good for the first. And that is gonna be the plant on the stage wall.
Doing a great job holding out for their teammates here. But we will see Beckons begin to creep forward with the advantage. Oh, Passion. Beautiful play there. They managed to catch out Melson there in the middle.
Yep. Good old Lurk Viper.
That. Indeed, Lurk Viper. Passion being the player to talk about this game.
They're trying to find Passion here.
Ooh,
they will succeed. And now it's a 4v2, but are they gonna elect to save? Or are they gonna try to find something? Time is ticking down. It is of the element, it's not in their favor. And Kin is also blinded by the paranoia. Lackluster is gonna find one. Kin is gonna be deleted through the smoke by Bree. It looks like no matter who you're going against here, from the side of Beckons, no smoke is safe. No rest for the wicked. And the Beckons are gonna be on double digits.
Yes, double digits, but not completely away with it. We do still have some money for the side of Lucid. The Hunter's Fury is up for Polite, and we could see a potential delay here for their B push. I must say, Lucid, I was a little scared there. They did take a little bit longer to get on that site than we would have liked to see, but they did manage to get a few kills at least and maybe try to pull things back. As we'll see, Melson, the lone survivor, holding down with this operator. Might be able to find something windy.
The first phase might be the Sova, waiting for the arrow. Gonna took away.
Will retreat back as to not get spotted out, but will get spotted out by the idea of, yes, there is something.
It will, and an uncharacteristic miss here from the chamber. Trying to scale up, just take him by surprise, and they will at least manage to take him off the position. Teleported back to Snowman. Could still pose a problem. And that is what we are waiting for. The Viper's pit is there, but the call is instantly to back off and leave just Passion there. And look at it. Everyone is just basically questioning themselves. Is the Viper still there? Is there something to find? What do we do? Where do we go from here? And it looks like the call is to move back to A-Side. Cass is tasked with disabling this, of stopping this, but he will not be able to do so. Folder, on the contrary, will be able to at least find one. That is gonna even the odds, but the plant is there. The time is ticking. We have 100 Fury on the defense, and Passion with the backstab once again in the border position is gonna even swing the odds to the favor of Team Beckons. Folder is just gonna try to find something back up only for the trade. A 3v2. The op is still in the hand of Melson, trying to find anything, trying to find any edge of the Viper, and another miss here from the op. A beautiful double swing here. The back and forth from Passion is gonna leave only Kin alive. 15 HP. Not that much to find, just a few jump spots from Bree, and Bunley is gonna double up that with a swing for the 3k. Round 11, and a proposition of a 2-0 is looking closer and closer here.
Closer and closer as we watch Beckons creep closer and closer to the match point. And with that round, Lucid definitely not in a great position after dropping a lot of money on guns there. Suddenly have no money to spend, as the Hunter's Fury is still ready, but not much else to their favor. And we shall see if Beckons can take this momentum here and put it away. The darts will come out. Passion roaming through middle, but yet again, they're an absolute animal when it comes to these lurks. And it may be the case as we see Nelson maybe looking to catch the smoke in that B main. Cass has the fade shorty. Looks like
just a little bit of a back and forth on both ends here. I really like what's happening. The Omen is in a very dangerous position here, but not finding that much damage. Passion, I really like what he's doing there.
Cover going out.
Just staying there, holding his position, holding his nerves, not letting anyone know where the Viper is absolutely pivotal for a successful lurk, is knowing when to concede space for the kill and when to keep it. And so far, he has decided to keep it, and the plant is closing down. The Viper's wall will at least make sure that the contest will be at a disadvantage for Lucid. And round 12 is coming closer and closer. The spray down from both sides. Not too much avail of either end, and Passion is gonna swing now, and it's gonna find a second, even a third.
Woo! Look at that third. Finds another one. Passion.
Yeah, Passion knows the 4K is there. The proposition is closing in on the ace. Will it be? But no, Cass will shut it down. Down to just Cass here on 70 HP. Running back in hand. Spotted by the arrow. And Budley with the swing. And that's match point.
Passion looking like a fresh pair of Nikes off the line. Absolutely fresh as they drop the 27 bomb here. Potentially the 30 in this match. And again, we cannot emphasize the MVP here. An absolutely stellar performance. But that is not to count out Lucid just yet. The rifles are in, the ultimates are in. Polar not only one away from theirs. And we shall see how things play out as we're going to get a full push onto this ace site from the side of Beckons. The run it back will get popped. They are moving in. Shots exchanged, but nothing too crazy.
Cass trying to find anything. He will find some damage onto somebody at least, but that will be healed back up. And that is the running back expended. It bought some space, it bought some time. Only 1 minute left on the clock. And it's all down to Nelson here. He needs to find something. He needs to come up huge for his team. Passion once again, just on the lurks, on the prowl, trying to find anything. It looks like Melson is in a good position, but the whiff and the swing from Bree, and that is gonna be a disaster for the side of the defense. Cass is gonna find one. The Hunter's Fury is trying to stop the plant. It will not succeed, but at least the consolation will be the life of Windy. 3v3 is very doable here for the side of Lucid to keep the dream alive, to keep their hopes in the series. It's just waiting now. A small breath of relief. The calm before the storm. It is the very final fight here. It looks like Lackluster is making sure it will be. The swing will be met by Cass. A 2v2, the time is ticking down. It's not in their favor, and once again another flash from the Phoenix. Fully blinded Bree, but she does not care. And it just looks like Polar is gonna try to stick it out. Is gonna try to stick it, but no. 3K for Bree, and that is the 2-0. Much cleaner this time around from the side of Beckons.
Indeed.
Bro, that was a game to watch, man. Dude,
That was a game to watch.
That was
Man.
statement. That was statement.
that it really was. It really was. Banks was just showing, hey, it doesn't matter if these guys have heated up and they are burning hot right now. I have a fire extinguisher. I went to try and find it when we went to the break, but it turns out Banks had already gone and stolen it to shut down Lucid.
Indeed.
What was it? Yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, if I'm being honest there, I can't help but point out that I think they stole the fire extinguisher and they immediately gave it to Passion. I mean, their performance this game was absolutely stellar. Very crucial rounds in the beginning there. Ninja defuse, if you can even call it that, there in the early rounds. I mean, just an absolutely insane game from Passion.
Well, could you tell me? So it seems like we're picking up the little MVP badge and we're giving it over Passion here. Could you tell me more about how their game went and why they were so essential to the victory of Banks? Balding? Man, I can never wrap my head around your name.
Okay, let's see. So, how would I describe what happened in this map? Okay, it's very simple. Lucid doesn't have a Viper. Like, come on. It's the oldest mistake in the book. You think, okay, I'm comfortable on this. Yes, maybe you are comfortable. But then you don't have as much avenues. You don't have the tools that the Viper brings. And the tools that Viper brings are very strong on Icebox, whether it be the wall, whether it be the snake bites even. That's a lot of space that is gained. And, you know, I'll actually just give it to the side of, was it Polar? Yeah, it was Polar on the Omen. Like, mechanically, he was playing well, but it doesn't only depend on the mechanical aspect if you cannot pull it through, because while you're playing good mechanically, you're not playing as good as the side of Beckons, especially Passion. And speaking of which, 4 first bloods on the Viper, as much as almost everyone else on the team, is an absolute insane performance. And Beckons, they've basically been a notch above on Icebox. Maybe not so much on Haven. Maybe on Haven they were just carried by them being better in the clutch situations, but this time it was just a much more round performance, a much more complete package.
Indeed. And on that note, I also want to point out that I think Passion had a very good understanding of Viper on this Icebox map. It is definitely one of her strongest, if not her strongest maps, and their ability to use utility properly, to peek at the right angles, and also their lurking was fantastic here, understanding that Lucid would be a little bit later on these rotates, and catching those crucial picks there in the beginning was very well done. There it is. The MVP scream at a whopping 27-9-9. Passion for the team of Beckons. Very well done.
Damn, 3 KDA. That's nasty, man. No, sorry, 3 KD, not even KDA. A 3 KD is disgusting here, coming from Passion. What an incredible Viper performance. And I remember last time we were talking about bringing Viper on Icebox, and Viper really is an agent that changes the map you're playing on. It's common sense, but at the same time, it really is a brand new map when you bring agents like Sage or Viper, the ones that can modify the environment you're working in. And Passion definitely executed that. That they went from the Icebox to the Poison Fog, man. Everything switched up. And was it just the play from the Viper? Were there any standout teamwork activities, Volt, that also came from the side of Banks that made it their game?
Say, at least from what I've seen from the side of Beckons, is they've managed to drill down their defaults pretty well. Like, you can see it in the shining example, quote unquote, in Passion and the Lurks. Even now, it's like walked up to B, they opened the Viper spit, and they're like, okay, we're gonna double back to A, and we're gonna take our time with it. We're gonna have a clean take. We didn't see that much of it on the side of Lucid. So I would say it's not even just that, it's just that the fact that they have much more drilled down strategy than what Lucid had. You can see more defined default. Meanwhile, Lucid was just doing 5-man death balls a lot of the time. And that afforded a lot of space. And I would give it to the side of Lucid. When they have the space, they manage to do well with it. But they are not proactive enough to take the space in the same manner that the side of Beckons is.
Where are you, Bodenga? Did you see any other standout performances from either team? Even Lucid, a team that was unfortunately put behind, and they did find their footing somewhat in the first game, but they couldn't catch it in the second. Did they have anything that stood out for them? Were they strong in any aspect? And what do you think they need to work on to be a stronger team in the future?
Well, Quicksand, I think Vault really hit it on the head there at the end when he talked about the Lucid being proactive. I did mention during the game that there were a lot of times where they would manage to make it on the site, albeit with heavy losses, and they'd have so much utility to use and to hold down that spike plant. But I think if they are to improve in the future, it'd be critical of them to, rather than use that utility all after post plant, to use it a little bit beforehand, sink more resources into these site takes. And I think in turn will let them come across cleaner and actually give them a stronger post plant than they would if they had all that utility. And then not to mention, I do think that on the side of Breckons as well, I think Bree had some very standout rounds there, especially there on that B main with the Raze, not the Lurk, but holding down on top of that box, a beautiful performance there. And I think all in all, the team did play very well. They played very cohesively, and they were, as we said, they were executing what they needed to, and they were executing it well with a good level of flexibility that I think is so critical in a game like Valorant. Because, as you said, in the event that a default just doesn't work, you have to be able to adjust. We saw that a little bit from Lucid, where it was doing the same thing over and over again with varying levels of success. However, from the side of Breckons, they managed to see, okay, here's where people are, here's what they're doing, and we can take it either way. We saw them going through mid. We saw them going through main. We saw them pushing through main once they saw they had somebody on their back foot. It's these very little spots and these very little decisions that end up amounting to the massive lead that they had there in the end.
There it is. Lucid, I hope you're listening. Banks, I hope you're listening as well. There's some really good advice in there as well. I mean, we all of us watch the games together, so make sure you write that down. And if you're just in the audience, that's something definitely to take away from the game as well. It's been a fantastic series, and even though Banks managed to wipe 2-0, Lucid has so much potential in them. Their proactiveness, they just need to use that utility a little bit earlier. Keep more people alive instead of using them as meat shields or little bodies to move out of the way to get onto site. It's important to hold on to the resources. The most important resource you have is your homies, so make sure they stay alive. And on that note, it's been a wonderful night here at the Victoris Rival Series for our Valorant. Look, Volt, Baldingo, is there anything else you guys wanted to throw in before we finish it up?
All I'm saying is we got to throw that on a t-shirt. The most valuable resource is your homies. I love that. That is a beautiful line. Wonderful performance for both teams. As always, it's a pleasure to be here. Gentlemen, well done tonight. And I look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, okay. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna chill out, follow Quicksand on here, and the name is it Baldingo? Yeah, Baldingo.
Baldingo, Baldingo.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Baldingo and Quicksand on both ends. Chill out for the lads. Chill out for yours truly.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go follow everyone's Twitters.
Yeah, a beautiful day of Valorant once again.
And it's time for you guys to go enjoy the comfort of your beds, me to go enjoy the sunshine, and whatever time it might be, maybe a cup of tea, a bowl of cereal, or your roast chicken dinner. Make sure you go catch those so you don't miss it. And don't miss next week's Victoris Rival Series either. We still have some fantastic teams, and they are coming in hot. So we'll see you guys next week. Don't miss it, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Adios.